Hello everyone, I am Dr. K. Annapurna, Associate Professor of ECE Department, VFSTR deemed to be University, Vadlamudi. Our today's topic is differentiators. Okay, the main objective of this class is to make you familiarize with the concept of differentiation circuits. By the end of this lecture, you will be able to answer what is differentiator, for what applications we use these differentiator circuits, what are the problems with basic differentiator circuit, and how to design a differentiator circuit for a given frequency input signal. And coming to the real life applications, already from your school days you started doing differentiation. But what is the significance of differentiation? Actually, differentiation is nothing but subtraction. Okay? And coming to the applications, to find the rate of change of one variable with respect to the other variable. Suppose if I write dV by dt. Already you have seen such type of expressions. So what is the meaning of that? It is differentiation of voltage with respect to time. That is how voltage is varying with respect to time. And next, to find maximum or minimum of a variable. Suppose a function is there and with a variable x. So for what value of x that function gives you maximum value or minimum value can be found by equating its differentiation of that function to 0. Suppose that function is f of x. Okay, then df of x by dx. With respect to x you are differentiating and equate to 0. So the corresponding x, at that corresponding x value, you will get either maximum or minimum. So to find maximum or minimum, we go for differentiation. And the next one is to find the slope of a line. Suppose if we take the straight line, okay, if we take the straight line, what is the slope of this line means? What is the change in V with respect to change in time? So delta V by delta T. Here y-axis is voltage. It is also written as dV by dt. Okay, so to find the slope, that will give you the slope of that line. And next, it is used in optimization problems. So optimization problems means, for example, to find how many quantities to be produced to get the maximum profit. So such type of problems can be solved by using differentiation. And used in wave shaping circuits. Wave shaping circuits means you are having triangular signal and you are interested in square wave. So this differentiation will convert triangular to square. Okay. And next one is to find the velocity when distance travelled is known with respect to time. All of you know in your physics what is velocity formula? It is dx by dt. That is change in displacement with respect to change in time. And the last one is here the acceleration. You can find the acceleration when you know the change in velocity with respect to change in time. Because the formula is A is equal to acceleration is equal to dv by dt. Okay, like that so many applications are there for differentiation. So till now you have seen what is differentiation. Differentiation is nothing but subtraction. And what are the applications you have seen. Okay, now which circuit is used to perform this differentiation operation? So this is the circuit. This is the basic differentiator circuit. So basically it is a high pass filter. So a high pass filter acts as differentiator when RC is far less than D. So this RC is nothing but the time constant of the circuit. So which tells how fast the circuit is responding to the inputs. It is nothing but this C value into R value. Okay, and T means the time period of the input signal. So when this condition is met, the high pass filter acts as differentiator. Now let us see the expression how it is giving you the differentiation operation. So this is our basic differentiator circuit. Now let us find the relation between input and output. That is how output is differentiation of input. So for that I am applying KCL at this node, inverting pin. Okay. Actually non-inverting pin is directly connected to ground, means inverting pin will be at ground. That is called virtual ground. So virtual ground means this will be at a potential of 0 volts. Right? Now you are applying KCL at that node. KCL means Kirchhoff's current law. So which states that the algebraic sum of currents meeting at that node is 0. So here how many branches are connected to this? 3 branches. The first one is this capacitor, that is IC is entering this node, IB and IF are leaving. Okay, algebraic sum of currents meeting at a junction is 0 means the sum of entering currents is equal to sum of leaving currents. So here IC is entering, IB and IF are leaving. Okay. Now actually this op-amp offers very high input impedance. So because of that this IB is very small value, you can neglect it. It is nearly 0. Now what is IC? The current flowing through this capacitor. What is the voltage current relationship for capacitor? I is equal to C dV by dt. So here what is C? C1 into d by dt of Vi minus 0. Okay, that is the voltage across the capacitor. So it becomes the current flowing through capacitor. So that is equal to, what is IF? It is current flowing through resistor. And we have taken this direction means it is at higher potential compared to this. So voltage across that resistor is 0 minus V0. So voltage by resistance will give you the current flowing through resistor, and here the resistor value is RF. Right? So from this what will you get? C1 into dVi by dt is equal to minus V0 by RF. Right? So from this what is V0? Minus RF C1 into dVi by dt. Now if you see this expression, the output voltage is directly proportional to differentiation of input voltage. Now to know the cutoff frequency and what frequencies can be differentiated, let us convert this expression into frequency domain. So it is, I am taking the Laplace domain. Okay, so V0 is written as V0 of S, that is Laplace transform of V0 of t is equal to V0 of S, that is equal to minus RF C1, here they are just like constants, and differentiation of Vi means S into Vi of S. Okay, now what is V0 of S by Vi of S? So Vi of S came to left hand side, so it becomes minus Rf C1 into S. Here S is nothing but j omega. So minus Rf C1 j omega. Right? So what is the frequency? That is, at what frequency this gain becomes 1 means omega A is equal to 1 by Rf C1. This implies Fa is equal to 1 by 2 pi Rf C1. So this Fa is representing the maximum frequency of the input that can be differentiated by this differentiator circuit. Okay, here let us see some input-output waveforms. So if the input is square wave, so what is the differentiation of a constant? Here if you see the square wave, some positive constant, negative constant, and transition from positive to negative, negative to positive. 4 possible ways are there. When input is at positive constant or negative constant, differentiation of a constant is 0. So at those places you are getting 0 output. Okay. Next, when input is changing from 0 to positive or some negative to positive means actually it should get positive spike. But if you observe the circuit diagram, the input is given to the inverting pin. So we will get opposite side. That's why here the expression is also having minus sign. So minus sign indicates 180 degrees phase shift. That's why instead of positive spike, for positive going signal we get negative spike, and for negative going signal we get positive spike. And next signal is sine signal. What is the differentiation of sine? All of you know it is cos. But our expression itself is having a minus sign. So the answer is minus cos here. So for sine signal you got minus cos. And next one, if you take the input as triangular signal, then if you differentiate t, what will be the output? So if you differentiate t with respect to t, it will be 1. That is constant. So here it is linearly increasing means you will get some constant. Here actually for increasing means you should have positive constant, but we are operating the differentiator in inverting configuration, so you are having opposite sign. That's why instead of positive constant you are getting negative constant. Next it is decreasing, so you will have positive constant. So finally for the input triangular wave, the output it gives square wave. But there are 2 problems with basic differentiator circuit. They are, the first one is, what is the input impedance of this circuit? It is the capacitive reactance. So the input impedance of this circuit is Zi is equal to the capacitive reactance XC1. So what is XC1? It is 1 by 2 pi FC1. Okay. When frequency is increasing, this capacitive reactance value is decreasing. So at high frequencies, it suffers with noise. So that is the first problem. And the second problem is gain. So what is the gain of this configuration? So it is operating in inverting configuration. So feedback impedance by input impedance. So here the gain is minus Rf by XC1. So minus Rf into 2 pi FC1. So here as frequency is increasing, gain is also increasing because gain is directly proportional to the frequency. So at very high frequencies, it offers very high gain and leads to oscillations because of instability. So the second problem is instability. Okay, to overcome these 2 problems, we go for practical differentiator circuit. This is the practical differentiator circuit. So what was the first problem? Its input impedance is varying with respect to frequency, because at the place of input impedance we have only capacitor alone. So to overcome that problem, we are connecting a high resistance value in series with C1. Okay, and the second problem is also because of the presence of this capacitor alone here. Okay, and gain will vary with respect to this capacitor reactance. So to compensate that, here also we are connecting a capacitor, so that both problems will be solved. And now let us see the input-output relation for practical differentiator circuit. So for this, now we have to derive the output relation in terms of input. So here also we are taking the KCL at inverting pin, which is at virtual ground. So virtual ground means its potential is at 0 volts. Now how many branches are connecting this node? Actually 4 branches. Of course this current is 0 amperes. So you no need to consider this branch. So IC is entering current. IC is equal to IF2 plus IF1. Okay, you can apply KCL in terms of frequency domain terms or time domain terms. Already you have seen in time domain terms. So to make you familiarize, now I am using the frequency domain terms. So what is IC? Current flowing through this. So what is the voltage drop across this? It is Vi of S minus 0. That means Vi of S. So Vi of S by what is the impedance of this branch? R1 plus 1 by SC1. The capacitive reactance in terms of Laplace domain, it is 1 by SC1. So that is equal to, what is IF2? The current flowing through this feedback capacitor. So what is the voltage across this? It is 0 minus V0. So 0 minus V0 by RF plus, next one, current flowing through this capacitor. So current flowing through capacitor means 0 minus V0 by 1 by SC1, SCF. Here the capacitor value is CF. Okay, now by substituting, by simplifying, we will get, so take SC1 LCM in the denominator. So you will get Vi of S into SC1 by 1 plus SC1 R1. So that is equal to minus V0 by RF minus V0 into SCF. Okay. So here if I take minus V0 common, 1 by RF plus SCF. So by taking RF as LCM, 1 plus SCF RF. Okay. Now what is V0 of S by Vi of S? So V0 of S by Vi of S minus S C1 RF by 1 plus S C1 R1 into 1 plus S CF RF. Okay, 1 plus S CF RF. Okay, this is the expression. Now, if R1 C1 is equal to RF CF, let us assume this. Okay, then what is the expression for V0 of S by Vi of S? Minus S RF C1 by 1 plus S R1 C1 whole square. And here the cutoff frequency is 1 by R1 C1, or here I am taking that cutoff frequency is FB 1 by 2 pi R1 C1. So when frequency is very small compared to this, what happens? When frequency term is very small, 1 is greater, so you can neglect this term, then gain is increasing with respect to frequency. But when frequency exceeds this FB, that is if SR1 C1 is greater compared to 1, then if you neglect this, then the gain is decreasing with frequency. That is up to FB it will be increasing, next after FB it will be decreasing. Okay, now let us see the frequency response of differentiator circuit, both basic differentiator and practical differentiator. Okay, here the first one is open loop response. So all of you know the gain bandwidth product is constant. That is, as frequency is increasing, the gain is decreasing. Okay, and it will have some its limits. So according to that concept, it will have its own limits. So this is the open loop response. And next one is closed loop response. In closed loop response, we have basic differentiator circuit and practical differentiator circuit. So first let us see the basic differentiator. In basic differentiator, so at the cutoff frequency the gain becomes 1. Okay, that is unity gain point. So here you can observe it. So at the cutoff frequency FA, the gain is 1. Unity gain means 20 log 1. Log 1 becomes 0, that's why it is 0 decibels. Okay, and next, if you see the response, it is directly proportional to frequency. See the frequency response or the gain expression. Okay, what is the gain expression? If you see this, it is directly proportional to omega. As frequency is increasing, the gain is increasing. So that you can observe here. Okay, as frequency is increasing, the gain is increasing. But after reaching this point, it is not increasing because no response will cross the open loop response. Open loop response is the maximum possible output. So after that, just it follows the open loop response. Okay, basic differentiator frequency response. And the next one is practical differentiators frequency response. So in the practical differentiator circuit, already I have told you, up to FB it is increasing and after FB it is decreasing. So you can observe that here. So up to FB it is increasing and after FB it is decreasing. Okay, this is the practical differentiator circuit. And what is this FC? It is the unity gain bandwidth product. That is gain bandwidth product. So where the response is having unity gain. So unity gain means it is 0 decibels like. Okay, so what is the relation among FA, FB and FC? FA is less compared to FB and FB is less compared to FC. So that is the relation. Generally we take FB is 10 times FA. Okay. Okay, now let us see how to design a differentiator for a given input frequency signal. So these are the design steps. Okay, they will give you the frequency, that is the maximum input frequency. You have to assume that as FA is equal to Fmax. So this is the formula, and actually here we don't know RF and C1. So we have to assume C1 as 0.1 microfarads or 0.01 microfarads. Usually we take these two values, but whatever the available capacitor values you can take. So the first step is you have to assume C1 value. Next, by using this formula, you have to find the value of RF. Okay. And next we have assumed R1C1 is equal to RFCF. And before that, just now I told you FB is greater than FA, and generally we take 10 times FA. And what is FB in the practical differentiator circuit? It is 1 by 2 pi R1C1. So that is 10 times greater. And if you equate this, you will get the value of R1. And next, from this you can find the value of CF. So after finding all these values, you have to draw the practical differentiator circuit and you have to place these values at appropriate places. Then only the design will be completed. Okay, now let us see a design problem. Design a differentiator circuit using op-amp to differentiate an input signal with Fmax equal to 200 Hz. And also draw the output waveforms for a sine wave and square wave input of 1 volt peak at 200 Hz. Okay. So first we have to design this. So how to design? Just now we have seen the design steps. And here what is FA? The maximum frequency given is, maximum input frequency is given, that is FA. So here FA is equal to 1 by 2 pi, so 2 pi RF C1. And you have to assume C1 value. Okay, here I am assuming this as 0.1 microfarads. Okay, this implies, what is this FA? 200 Hz is equal to 1 by 2 pi RF into 0.1 micro means 0.1 into 10 power minus 6. Okay, from this what is RF? 7.95 kilo ohms. Okay, next FB is equal to 10 times FA. So what is FA? It is 200. So now FB becomes 2000 Hz. And what is the FB formula? FB is equal to 1 by 2 pi R1 C1. Okay. So from this, what is R1? 1 by 2 pi FB C1. So 1 by 2 pi 2000 into 0.1 micro. So it will give you 0.795 kilo ohms. And next, the last value you have to find is CF. So how to find CF? R1 C1 is equal to RF CF. Already you know C1 value, R1 value, RF value. So from that you can find the CF value. It is 0.01 microfarads. Okay, after finding all these values, you need to draw the circuit and you have to place these values. So this is R1. What is R1 you got? It is 0.795 kilo ohms and C1 0.1 microfarads, CF 0.01 microfarads and RF 7.95 kilo ohms. Now the design is completed. So what is the next question? For two types of inputs, how it is giving the output. Okay. So what is the specifications of input? 1 volt peak and 200 Hz. Okay. First let us find the output waveform for sine input. Okay, for sine wave, what is the standard representation? It is Vm sine 2 pi f t, right? Here, what is the maximum input given? 1 volt. So, 1 into sine 2 pi, and what is the frequency? It is 200 hertz into t. Now, what is the output expression? So, V naught is equal to minus Rf C1 into d by dt of Vi of t. Okay, if you substitute these values, you will get minus cos 2 pi into 200 into t. So, what is the meaning of it? It is having 180 degrees phase shift cos, and it is also having a magnitude of 1. So, now if you draw the input-output waveforms, okay, this is the input, and what is the frequency given? 200 hertz. So, 200 hertz means what is the time period? 1 by 200 means 0.5 milliseconds. So, this is 0.5 milliseconds. So, now it is not omega t, it is t. Okay. Next, what is the output you got? The same magnitude, but it is minus cos. So, minus cos means it will start here. Okay, this is the corresponding output signal. Is it clear? The next one is which input? The square wave input. So, for square wave input, what is the output? Here also the frequency given is 200 hertz means it is 0.5 milliseconds. And it is also having a magnitude of 1. Right? Now, what will be the output? Already we have seen the input-output waveforms. When it is constant, so differentiation of constant is 0. But when it is increasing means, actually we should have positive spike, but we are using inverting configuration. So, here we will have a negative spike. Next, here negative going, you will get a positive spike. Here negative spike lines. And what is the amplitude of these impulses? So, maximum amplitude, it is plus Vsat. And here minus Vsat. Okay, this is the output corresponding to the square wave input. So, with this, the problem is completed. Now, let us recap what we have learned in this class. So, first one, what is differentiator? Differentiator is nothing but a circuit which performs subtraction, right? And next one, what are the real life applications of differentiator circuit? Okay, to find maximum or minimum of a function, what we do? Suppose the function is f of x, df of x by dx equal to 0. So, by equating its differentiation to 0, we can able to find its maximum or minimum value. And next, to find the velocity if we know the displacement with respect to time. Next, to find the acceleration when we know the velocity with respect to time. And next, to find the slope of a line, and it is used in wave shaping circuits. So, like that it has so many applications. Okay. And next one is which filter acts as differentiator. So which filter? It is high pass filter. And what is the condition for differentiation? So what is the condition? RC for less than t. So this is the condition for differentiation. And what are the problems with basic differentiator? There are two problems. First one is the input impedance is varying with respect to frequency. At very high frequency, input impedance is very low and it suffers from noise. And the second one is the gain is very high at high frequencies and leads to instability and results in oscillations. So those two are the problems and those are overcome with the help of practical differentiator circuit. I hope you understand. Thank you.